That guy Jacob, he left school. He went on to become the leader of some cult out in Iowa. Eventually, he tried organizing a mass suicide. Only problem is he drank the Kool-Aid first, and well, afterwards, everyone else just kind of changed their minds. Too bad.
Hello, everybody. This is Rock Hard Caucus. We are recording on January 9th, 2021. This is the end of the first full week of the new year. This is our first episode of the year 2021. My name is Justin. I'm hosting as usual, and I'm joined by my friends Evan and Chuck.
Hello.
Yay! I'm so excited by the possibilities of the new year.
Yeah,
they've really just busted open.
What a week it's been.
Fine now.
It's been quite the historic week.
It's been a great start. So I've prepared notes for I think like 3 episodes of this show that we haven't gotten around to yet, but I think this week kind of preempted anything that I had planned to do. I think there was too much news this week, so we kind of just have to do a news episode now.
Yeah, we shelved the Dave Loebsack episode.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
Yeah, I was joking. Like the most exciting news of the present and future is just superseded the most boring news of the past.
Yeah, I think people will be pleasantly surprised by the Loebsack episode. I was like kind of dreading doing any research for it because he's just so boring, and I thought it would be like
he is.
Pulling teeth. But I did find some, I think, entertaining stuff, or at least we can spin it as entertaining.
Yeah, the best we can, I suppose.
Yeah. And since it's the beginning of the year, I thought this may be a good opportunity to kind of reiterate what this show is about for anyone who's maybe like a new listener. So we record this in Iowa. That's where the name Rock Hard Caucus, because we're the caucus state. Also, dick joke.
Yeah, it's like a penis too, like a hard cock.
Yep.
But what you're going to hear on this episode, this is representative of the people of Iowa. Everyone here in the state thinks like us. So if you...
Yeah, I'm working class. I know Chuck's working class.
Yeah, I'm working class for sure.
Justin doesn't... He's not working class.
Yeah, Justin's part of the...
He doesn't work. He doesn't do any work on this podcast.
I'm what happens when the working class stops having a job.
Which honestly sounds pretty sick. I would love to not have a job, but...
Yeah, there definitely have been benefits this year to all of my jobs not existing.
It's been interesting watching how different people have handled, like, either being laid off and not being able to work, or having been moved to work from home. Because, I mean, we're coming up on, well, what, about 2 or 3 months from now? Maybe closer to like 3 or 4 will have been a full year of some people... Yeah. Transitioning to working largely from home, or
just about 10 months for me.
Yeah, so like I don't know, it's been just because I've been fucking having to go to work every goddamn day. Like nothing's changed for me. But like it's some people have it's been excruciating for them. Like they don't know what to do with their time or whatever.
Yeah.
And some people I think have become better people as a result because they've had more. Well, not better people.
Oh, that's
but,
cute.
Listen, they become more, I don't know, they've had more time for their hobbies, they've had more time to, like, not have to think about, like, a commute to work every day.
Oh, dude, I was going to say that. Like,
and,
for
not
me...
have to think about, just all that bullshit. It just cuts a bunch of extra toxic stress out of their lives so they can dedicate more time to things that they enjoy. And then you realize, too, or I guess some people realize how big of a part of their life going to work and being at work is, and like when they don't have that and they don't have like that structure, then they go rush into the U.S. Capitol
building.
Yeah,
just like it's the only other option.
To get a job, I think. It's pretty. I mean, it happened in the middle of the day. I mean, I was at work earning their welfare money while they were all wasting time at the Capitol farting around. Maybe these people should get jobs, I think.
So what I was getting at, I think that this podcast serves kind of 2 purposes and 2 audiences. The first is people who also live in Iowa with us. It gives them a podcast to listen to with people talking about shit that they already know, which I know is like that's what people listen to podcasts for.
And the other half are white men, and just white men.
Well, no, I mean, that's 100%. Both audiences are all white men.
Yeah, that's by design.
We can say this because Natalie isn't on this episode.
But yeah, it's for people who live here and want to hear their own thoughts repeated back to them
Yeah, the echo chamber.
by people who are exactly like them.
Yeah.
And then and then the other audience we're serving is people who live outside of the state and want an idea of what it's like for these
Yes. Yes. in
What
case
it's
they were ever
like.
curious.
To live in one of the two largest states or cities in Iowa.
Yeah. Once again, shout outs to the Alabama DSA. Longtime listeners.
But yeah, as I was saying, we are 100% representative of the thought patterns of a majority of Iowans. Everyone here thinks like us.
That's
So
right.
if you want some insight into what people here in Iowa are thinking, don't look at who they voted for and elected and keep in power. Listen to our podcast.
Yeah, and definitely don't look at the comment sections for local news stations on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because goddamn, dude, I was looking at some of the... I promised myself I was going to stop doing that because it was just... It wasn't even funny. Like
New Year's
like,
resolution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not been funny. It's more like a train wreck. You can't peel
like,
your eyes off.
Usually, I like to do stuff like that. Like if I see something horrible, like a video or like a post that's just wretched, the first thing I do is like, let's go read the comments. Like let's go read the replies. But like those are right now they're as bad as they've ever been with the shit at the Capitol and like the changing of the guard in the White House. It's just been fucking atrocious. Not even funny. Like it's not even funny. It's just like. Makes me sick to my fucking stomach, some of the shit that people are writing in there right now. Just like how pissed they are and like how betrayed they are and like how, this country's going to become a socialist hellhole. Which would rock, but...
Yeah, it's been a while since I really engaged with KCRG comments.
Yeah, KWWL has been really, really bad, especially. KCRG is not as bad, but like I don't know what it is about the KWWL one, but
I think KCRG
Black
actually
Hawk
bans
County.
people.
Yeah.
They
There's a lot of
have,
people from Waterloo in the KWWL one too, which is a shithole.
You have kind of a beef with Waterloo because of hockey, right?
That's part of it, yeah. But
Yeah.
I just know a lot of really rotten people that live there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I know some fine people that live there who tell me there's a lot of rotten people in Waterloo. How about that?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, okay, that's better. And hockey.
Also,
too.
Waterloo does have the highest per capita African American representation
Yes, and
of
also
any city in
the
Iowa.
most
Ooh,
unequal.
I'm tugging my collar.
You're tugging
right now.
your collar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield.
There's a lot of
style.
working class people in Waterloo, and they deserve respect and dignity. So,
Yeah.
Well, how about you quit shitting on my lived experience, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, you're being
Oh, no.
very. Yeah, maybe reconsider before you say things like that.
Yeah. Well, because of their non-white representation in their demographics, they also have the worst unequal criminal justice, arrests, police bullshit.
Oh
So,
no! Now I
yeah,
have
it
to
is-
delete this whole segment.
And John Wayne Gacy is
Fuck.
from there.
Wait, he
Yeah,
is?
Yeah.
He lived there for a while. He ran a KFC franchise.
he did run a KFC.
Holy
He's also
shit.
part of the
You didn't know
JCs
that?
there.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, he was kind of like involved in local government, I think.
Yeah, he
That's-
absolutely was.
I
He
thought that
in
was in
JC.
Illinois, though.
I think he did both. Yeah, he did like shit in Waterloo too.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know about the KFC.
I don't think he lived there for super long, but like
No, he didn't.
yeah.
Right. I know more of his Illinois shit.
Yeah, you're a big fan of his work out there, are you?
Yeah, I'm more into the later stuff.
The twilight of his career.
Yeah. I also saw the Meat Puppets in Waterloo, and that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Meat Puppets.
I think that was like 2009. That was
Dang.
fun. Yeah, they played at just like a shitty bar, and then at the end of the show, they gave away the equipment that they'd been playing on.
Oh,
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
They just like bought it at a thrift store or something.
I think every band should do that.
That was cool, yeah. Okay, well, since we've referenced it a couple times, we can get to the biggest news of the week. Sorry, second biggest. The first biggest would be Trump was banned from Twitter last night.
yeah. The
Which
website
is a
that
real
runs
shame.
our lives.
I'm really going to miss him quite a bit. Like, he might be one of the best posters that we've had in the last 5-10 years. Because he's just, like, his first activity on Twitter was in, like, early 2009, I found.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he was just this, like, ever-flowing fountain of takes about politics and
I
like
think
pop culture.
He didn't actually take control of his own Twitter account until like 2013. So like the first 4 years were just PR shit, basically.
Really?
Yeah. Like the really early tweets.
He still has some of my favorites. So, I mean, you can tell the ones that are written that's him for sure. You know, like the Diet Coke one will always be one of my favorite tweets.
It's funny, all of the like free speech shit about Donald Trump. Like he's gonna go like after his presidency, he's gonna end up on another platform, and then
of course
his
he is.
shit is still gonna be just breathlessly reported by the media. Like
Yeah,
because he'll be
they're
the
not
former
gonna
president.
Yeah, it's like it's still too relevant to the fucking public interest. It's like to know what he's saying, considering he has a fucking cult that currently takes up like 20% of the fucking country.
which I'm sure isn't going to.
We laugh, but it is
long-term
still pretty
problems
fucking.
at all.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, it's nothing really has changed because those people already were there, but it's just like it kind of like reached its logical conclusion. I think.
Yeah.
Depends on what you.
We
think
haven't
of.
got to the conclusion yet, but
Yeah, I think this is.
it's progressing along a pretty like logical.
I mean, yeah, there's like Tea Party and like QAnon people and shit that are in like local and like federal government positions now, which is a
in
big
Congress.
problem.
I think a lot of people have been saying that he is a fascist, and I think more people are certainly waking up to that possibility.
Yeah. Well, okay. The second largest news story of the week, of course, is that the aforementioned cult, a lot of the biggest Trump fans, is that a good way to classify them? Trump fans?
Sure, yeah.
They had a big old protest in Washington, D.C., and they invaded the Capitol building.
Which owns.
Yeah, mixed feelings, you know? It's pretty funny, but...
I always knew that there'd come a time in my life, just from the general unrest and like much of the country about what have you, like whatever it may be, that at some point there would be people that would storm the U.S. Capitol, maybe violently, maybe not so violently, but like I never thought it would be because the "you're fired" guy that sold like steaks with his face on it and like owned golf courses and shit from TV.
Yeah.
Didn't get to be president again.
Again, for the second time.
Again, yeah.
It really is. It's so strange because like I started my current job 4 years ago, like January 4th. And that was like when Obama was still in office, but Trump had already been inaugurated, obviously. So like
Elected.
if you would have told me like any of the headlines from this week back then, 4 years ago, like would have been absolutely stunned, you know.
You really would have been surprised.
Well, I mean, I guess not, maybe not so much after Trump was already elected, but like, I guess maybe, let's say 5 years going back.
Yeah, I'm not surprised whatsoever that these people
obviously
have
the
done
contradictions have been widening and continuing to, get worse, but like, yeah, it's still...
You mean like his own contradictions?
No, like, just the contradictions in like our society where it's like, this violent group of extremists think that the country belongs to them and them alone. Like the contradictions that is that Hegel or whatever?
We don't read fucking books.
I don't read books.
I just know I knew that like before he was even president, there were people that were like willing to fucking fight and like die for him and shit. And he had these people that were already militant, like, blood pledges to this guy and, like, what he was going to do for America and how he was going to help usher in their vision of America and how he was, like, a savior and shit. And, like, I thought for quite a while that they were just sort of, like, memeing about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I still knew that they had the potential to do something like this at any given point. Like, these people are fucking insane. They have guns. They're ready to fight. Like, they've been ready to fight. They've just been waiting for a chance to do it. And the ultimate breaking point, obviously, is him not being their president anymore without, completing the mission of making America great again in the second term. And then after that, then Don Jr.'s next. And then it's Ivanka is next. And then Barron's going to be president. Like, people really wanted that. They wanted a fucking monarchy out of this guy. They wanted...
Yeah. It's just wild, like, some of the guys in the Capitol were identified, like, some of the guys with, like, zip ties, the guys with, like, the most gear were, like, identified as, like, ex-military people who used to have, like, high-ranking security clearances and shit. So it's just, like, how do you go from, like, serving all of the, rhetoric about serving your country and all of this shit, and like all of the rhetoric about, you know, democracy and all this shit.
Because this wasn't supposed to happen to them. This wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah,
This was supposed to have a fairy tale ending.
It's wild. And like also just the response to it is like Biden and the Democrats are just, if this is sedition, which it is, I mean, like everything Trump has done since he lost has been inciting this.
Yeah. Well, he was there in D.C. for like a rally before that happened, right?
Yeah. No, he told them to march on the
Yeah,
Capitol.
he's like, hey, guys, go to the Capitol. I'll be marching with you.
Yeah, and Giuliani said he wanted trial by combat at that rally.
Yeah. He's been telling people, like, get ready to fight, get ready for war, and, like, it's just been trickling down and amplified to, you know, all, like, the pundits on the right. Like, fucking Steven Crowder had this video, like, a month ago, like, after, you know, Trump had lost, and it was becoming pretty apparent that, like, the end was here, where he was like, get ready to fight, patriots, like, we need to hold on to our country, and then he's tweeting about, like, wow, everybody, I'm so in shock that this is happening. Like, what is going on? It's so much of that. Like, you can't sit there with a fucking bullhorn for a month and a half now and just holler at these people that, you know, your country's being stolen from you, like, the election's stolen, and then be surprised when they do bullshit like this. And I really wish that those people would have done more damage.
Yeah.
Maybe set the place on fire would have been pretty sick. Not that I'm condoning anything like this, but like maybe done something in Grand Theft Auto to some of the senators, because I think that people would be forced even more so than they are now to confront the dog whistling that they've done, and like they're really like reaping what they've sown, and like this is the price that they have to pay for trying to cater to these people the best they could to get what they wanted out of their role as in the federal government, like having positions in, you know, the legislative branch or whatever.
Yeah, like it's not good that a fascist mob had the strength to invade the Capitol. Well, strength and also the, you know, ambivalence or
zeal.
open encouragement from the police force that was present.
Yeah, they're like taking selfies with him and shit. I saw.
Yeah. It's not good that the fascist mob had that much strength, but it's also like a lot of the people in that building deserved it.
I agree.
And deserved worse than what actually happened, because most of it was just a few idiots just like wandering around in the building.
Yeah, I think that those guys should get to keep everything that they stole. Like, I'm kind of upset that they're getting arrested right now.
Yeah. Something I was saying to you guys in private, which I guess I can probably say in public, is that only a group like that would have been able to invade the Capitol.
Of course, yeah.
At this moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So
because
it's like
the cops there are like thinking about like we can't just like do the same shit that we did. Like they can't like violently push back against these people. That's going to rile them up even further. It's like they have numbers that the Black Lives Matter shit doesn't even have, and obviously just the whole history of police in this country, like being sympathetic to any sort of like fucking Birch Society shit.
Yeah. So like if I think that a congressperson's office getting trashed and them feeling scared, like if I feel like that's maybe a good thing, I think the only people who would be able to actually accomplish that are my political enemies at this moment.
Oh, absolutely.
So you got to take what you can get out of the horrible thing that happened on Wednesday. Like, at least you can laugh at that.
I think a lot of people have been having this discussion, obviously, about whether it's appropriate to laugh at it or not.
Yeah, and we're not saying anything that you guys probably haven't already heard on multiple other podcasts by now. But
Right.
We're still doing it, so fuck you.
But since Evan brought up earlier the guys who are getting identified, I can provide something that other podcasts are not, which is the Iowa connection. Mm-hmm. Because there were some Iowans present at the Capitol break-in, is what they're calling it here.
Yeah, before we did the show, we were talking about how funny it would be if we just saw somebody we knew all of a sudden, like on the live stream. Like
I can think
like
of
Joel
a couple people.
Is just there all of a sudden.
Oh man,
dude! Oh man, imagine the dough brain.
Yeah, Joe
in the Capitol
in a suit.
Yeah, or the mother of my cousins, who said that the people who were sieging, she agreed that they were sieging the Capitol, but she said it was okay because it was their property as American taxpayers.
Building, yeah, that's a pretty popular take on the right.
Yeah. If you're a person in a communist militia, then you have permission as long as you're an American citizen.
Yeah. Well, there is a video of the crowd like pushing up against the cops, and they were saying shit like that. Like, this is our building.
Yes, and also means any of those statues that got taken down last summer, that's cool because that's your property.
Yeah, public property means it's all of ours.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so I can start reading a little bit out of this article from Thursday. This was in the Des Moines Register by Robin Opsahl. Sorry if I don't know how to say your name. This person does follow me on Twitter, so if you happen to listen to this, Robin, and I said your name wrong, let me know.
Yeah.
It's called Iowa Man Identified in U.S. Capitol Break-In. Other Iowans participated in crowd action. So let's get some names going. Kelly Stucker, owner of Iowa City shop Connection, says she was in Washington.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you know Connection?
Yeah.
Of course I do. That's where everyone used to go to buy their first pipe when we turned 18. Yeah.
I bought a pipe there, and it was later
me
confiscated by the police when I got arrested. So
yeah, me and
it was a fitting irony.
Me and our good friend Steve, and I think a couple of people went down there when I turned 18 to buy stuff, and it was super cool. It was the first time I'd been in Iowa City, and it was a cool store. Honestly.
Yeah. And apparently she was like saying some anti-Black Lives Matter protest shit.
Yep.
And like another one of our liberal acquaintances in the Iowa City music scene.
Oh, Christ.
Was like saying like, she's not a Trump supporter. Like, I know her. Like, she's
just a dumbass.
She just wants to protect her storefront. Like, all this shit.
Oh, fuck off.
He was 100% wrong.
She's a member of the Iowa City community, like the business community of Iowa City, which is obviously better than any of this shit.
Yeah, so this is a Connection that's spelled with a K and an X. You can figure it out. It's on Lynn Street in Iowa City. Kelly Stucker, she's the owner. She's got a long history.
If you're trying to buy
of,
a bong, don't go there. Not a water pipe, a bong. Don't go there.
Long history of small business tyranny, if you have ever heard any stories from her ex-employees. And, become a more outspoken kind of right-wing person over the last year. I can't imagine why. Anyway, she was there to protest the lack of adequate COVID-19 lockdowns and direct payment relief. She says she wasn't there to support Trump, but instead,
What? That can't be true.
Dude.
Yeah, there's no way that's fucking true. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's clear here that this is something she said to the paper after they had printed that she was there to support Trump. This is just her cover story.
Imagine if there was like a group of protesters there who just had signs about like COVID.
Just like whatever, yeah. Whatever was on their
the
mind.
only people wearing masks in the entire fucking crowd.
Yeah.
There were apparently there were at least one guy there who had like a fucking anti-circumcision sign.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's like this sort of shit just does attract all kind of, loonies of all sort of stripes.
There's always like at least one of the anti-circumcision guys that make it to all of these big demonstrations. Multiple Iowans participated in the rallies and subsequent riot in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, where supporters of President Donald Trump rallied for him to stay in office, including one who was among the group seen storming the U.S. Capitol. So this is someone who got inside. Doug Jensen, a 41-year-old Des Moines man, was identified in multiple videos and photographs at the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday wearing a QAnon t-shirt over a sweatshirt and a knit cap.
Hell yeah.
And I started following him on Twitter because they've embedded some of his tweets in this article.
Oh, Jesus.
He is at D.A. Jeeper. I'm wondering by that handle, Jeeper, if this is a guy who drives a Jeep.
Either that or it's like some kind of racial slur that we don't know about.
I shouldn't have said it out loud, yeah.
Yeah.
He was tweeting photos of himself in the Capitol.
Just the people are so brazen about it.
Yeah, it's like
I respect it, but
fucking,
how stupid are you?
It's like fucking. There's like the fucking like Boogaloo contingent, and then there's just the fucking like MAGA tourist like contingent, like the QAnon like they're true believers, but like they're just there for like the spectacle of it, and like they get off on like displays of power.
That's the thing that was really funny to me about how they were trying to say, no, these are outside agitators. These aren't Trump people. This is Antifa. These are people trying to make him look bad, where like they're on their Patriot News 1488 Twitter account posting pictures of themselves like, hey, look, here I am with my friends. Here we are.
Yeah.
Like, here's me on Facebook with all my memes about how I'm going to do something very bad to Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, the late MF Doom had a really good song about snitching on yourself.
Rest in peace, by the way. Big loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, big loss.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, Chuck, what you don't understand is that those are actually radical leftist activists who have been under deep cover for at least 3.5 years now.
I never thought of that.
And it's finally
Playing
paying off. Game. Yeah, it's finally they've done their job.
That's another thing too. Is like something that's kind of I don't look at 4chan, but I see a lot of content get reposted from it in my Twitter timeline, and there's a lot of people that are like, well, damn guys, I guess maybe he wasn't playing 4D chess the whole time. Maybe he's just a dumbass.
Yeah. In a video posted by Igor Bobik, a politics reporter for HuffPost, we kind of hammer on people's names a lot.
Yeah. A lot of people
program.
have funny names, unlike us who all have normal names.
Yeah, my name's very normal.
Actually, mine is pretty normal.
Yours is about the most normal name I know.
Evan Jones.
Ungoogleable.
Don't
Igor
say my name
Bobik.
On this podcast.
You've been doxxed. Igor Bobik is a funny name.
It is.
It's like a villain in a cartoon.
He posted a video on Twitter which features this guy. What was his name? Doug Jensen.
Something like that. Yeah, the Jeep guy.
Doug Jensen. He appears to be one of the first people attempting to push past a police officer and into the Capitol. So,
nice.
We're on the front lines.
First in the nation caucus, first in the nation inside the Capitol.
That's right.
Does it have any more about his employment situation?
I think they get to that. Let me see. Jensen was among the people whom D.C. Metropolitan Police seek to identify as a part of the Capitol break-ins. Okay.
Can I guess before
mission
you tell
accomplished
what he does? I'm going to guess that he's a small business owner.
No.
I don't think they actually get to it in this article.
Oh.
But I know the info has been going around.
I know
you
the
remember
context.
What it is, right?
Yeah, he worked for a masonry, I think forest masonry company in Des Moines.
Oh, so it doesn't matter. His boss will think this owns.
Well, so they do a lot of contract work for local government. They actually worked on renovating the Capitol like a decade.
So
the Iowa Capitol, not the U.S. Capitol, the Iowa Capitol building.
Yeah.
That beautiful gold dome.
Yeah.
they worked on that. And then apparently the first person to contact them with this guy telling them that he was an employee, apparently they confirmed his employment and didn't say that they were going to terminate his employment.
Right.
Which that's hearsay, so I don't know if that's true. And obviously he's been booked at this point. And he is in Polk County Jail, I believe, right now.
Yeah. They did publish an article this morning about the FBI arresting Doug Jensen.
Yeah. People on social media were, going after them for sure. So, I doubt he will retain his employment status, but...
Well, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King spent a lot of time in jail for their beliefs too, so...
Oh, God. Yeah, and Hitler.
Yeah, and Hitler, the Germany guy that we all know.
No Iowans were killed or arrested at the protest. Jensen could not be reached for comment.
There was a guy with an Iowa flag there.
Yeah, that's right. I saw
that,
the photos. Yeah. Maybe that'll be the episode art for today.
Ooh, yeah, good idea.
Here's some more names. Brian Arzani, mayor of Truro, drove 17 hours from Iowa to Washington, D.C. Yeah.
What a real that's a real patriot to me.
He's trying not to get COVID.
And
it's responsible too.
And then just stood in a crowd of thousands with no protection at all. And he was quoted as saying his purpose for being there was as a person in support of free and fair elections.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
It was a really great group, he said. At one point, the group broke out in singing "God Bless America."
God, I've seen people saying like, "Oh, these people didn't succeed in their goal of I guess literally kidnapping elected officials or somehow actually overturning the election." But go ask any of these people. They at least at the time were convinced that they had done something significant, which
Well, I mean, they have.
I agree.
Something. I mean, this is.
But they're
to
saying
me,
like
this was
people
like a dry run.
They, of course, yeah, but they didn't succeed when they literally occupied the U.S. Capitol building. Like,
yeah,
and like
they succeeded at something for sure.
They succeeded at something, and like there's the arguments about what kind of help they had, but like
apparently, as soon as they realized that it was getting bad, the security within the building was like made it a point to like quickly rescue as many of like the electoral ballots as they could from the floor so they weren't destroyed and take them to a safe location within the building.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of identified that as the primary goal, but no, this is a dry run. The real shit's coming up on the
That would be like totally like some video game shit, like raid the U.S. Capitol building to destroy the electoral votes, destroy the certification papers that they all read. That way, there's no way they can certify the election without those like pieces of paper signed by government officials.
Yeah,
just like 7 dozen BJ Blazkowiczes storming the Capitol together.
And then it goes on to talk about how like when this guy Brian got to the rally, it was like everyone was having fun, singing together, and it was nice. But as it progressed and he got closer to the Capitol, things started to get a little bit more concerning. He says he saw people wearing helmets and gloves, holding knives and milk cartons.
It's always a good sign.
Yeah, I don't know what the milk cartons thing is
I'm guessing
about.
it's for if they get pepper sprayed or mace.
Yeah. That makes sense. Milk cartons.
Just in case they get thirsty.
I mean, bones. it says milk cartons. It doesn't necessarily say milk, so
yeah.
It was kind of a very confusing moment. I actually thought it was actually a reenactment of 1776 or something.
What?
It was very productioned.
Very what?
Productioned. So, like he thought it was like fake,
like
I
a
guess.
Stage play?
Yeah.
What if it was?
But as I got closer, I realized there were some real things going on.
Yeah.
It was not a fun little moment.
No. No, like more and more videos come out, and like the more they come out, the worse it looks. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, there is the ridiculous aspect to it and like the comical ineptitude of it, but like there was some fucking real serious intent behind.
Yeah. These people were fighting the cops. Like they were in there like fist fighting with security.
5 people died. Like,
yeah.
I don't think you can name a single BLM protest where like 5 people died, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and what was it, like some like 65 cops that were there were injured by the protesters?
Yeah, they got fucking trampled. Like there's people getting fucking trampled. Like
there's a video that I saw this morning of like a riot police officer just getting crushed in like a door frame because they're all trying to push their way in and he was trying to stop them and he's like fucking screaming. But they protest peacefully.
Yeah.
They don't,
Again, you gotta, find the laughs where you can in the serious event like this. Gary Loeffler is the next person they talk about. Oh, I do want to reiterate though, Brian Arzani, mayor of Truro. So this is the mayor of a small town who was part of this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He'll return a hero. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about him since, but yeah, we'll see.
He's mayor for life now.
Yeah, like they're going to be able to like remove him as a mayor, and then every single citizen in that town who voted for Trump is just going to be like, nope.
They'll do a miniature version of the Capitol invasion.
It's like a dozen like farmers.
Yeah.
Gary Loeffler, a 59-year-old man from Ottumwa. He also called the scene at the Capitol on Wednesday confusing. This reflects really well on Iowans, that all of the people they quoted were just like, what's going on?
What's going on here?
After the president's speech, he and a friend went with marchers up to the Capitol. When they arrived, others told them that Capitol Police had removed the barriers usually surrounding the building and went up onto the Capitol terrace to get a better view of what was happening. The rioters he saw, directing the crowds and trying to enter the Capitol building, were wearing body armor and masks, unlike the majority of people he saw during the Trump rally. I feel like these guys are like trying to shape this as they are giving quotes to the paper.
I never saw these guys before.
These guys were like very different from everyone
outside
else.
agitators, maybe.
Yeah. They're definitely trying to suggest that.
I think all of these people were, at least in this article, were biting off more than they could chew.
Yeah.
As the owner of America's Patriotic Tractor, often seen around... I've seen pictures of this guy now that they bring that up.
That's a good episode name, too.
Often seen around Iowa at Republican events, Loeffler said he is familiar with police crowd control. Police did not stop people from entering Capitol grounds or climbing up the building. Crowd control measures he has seen police in Iowa enforce during raucous events easily, which he found confusing. Oh. That's a great point, Mr. Loeffler.
Very interesting.
Owner of America's Patriotic Tractor. Actually, I think I saw this guy in Iowa City when they did that Blue Lives Matter rally in like August, I think. I think he was at that. You're talking about the capital of the United States of America, not downtown Des Moines. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Jesus Christ.
He does look very bumpkin-like. I'm looking at him right now. Is he like an older gentleman with gray hair?
Yeah.
And diabetic socks?
I don't know for sure about his socks, but that
he's
doesn't
definitely wearing
me.
diabetic socks in this picture. Mm-hmm. And he's with a red, white, and blue tractor with an eagle on the front of it, and the cow pusher on the front of it says, "In God we trust. Pray for our freedoms." Or no, pray for our troops. This guy rocks.
Then they move on to just like a few other people. Other Iowans have been identified in photos near the U.S. Capitol during the riot. One Facebook post identified Brandon Miller, a show promoter, as a participant in yesterday's events. Brandon Miller, yes, he's an Iowa City resident. He's a rapper. He has a...
oh, man.
Is it Lil Peep? Is that the rapper? Lil Peep?
Yeah, Lil B.
No,
not Peep.
Little Peep.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He's the goth emo rapper.
Right.
I kind of like some of his songs. Not gonna lie.
Bad.
Well, this guy Brandon has a Lil Peep tribute project, which gets made fun of a lot. Well, no,
he's a sad boy. Like, come on.
Yeah,
nice to Brandon Miller.
Lil Peep was also like kind of a commie, or at least had sympathies to leftist ideology. And this guy Brandon Miller is like a chud, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Wow, someone can't separate art from the artist.
Well, apparently this guy can very easily. And yeah, they have here in the Des Moines Register article a screenshot of my friend Yanis Alexakis, his Facebook post. It's cool, but also they didn't like contact him at all before putting his full name in this article, calling out local fascist. So he's a little concerned, but
yeah, they really didn't even like ask him at all. They just
it just like suddenly he was in an article.
Wow, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, he's a little concerned about it, but
yeah, especially if it's something related to this, where you have all these people that are like out for fucking blood now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I started talking shit on Joel Curtinitis' Facebook page once and started having like fucking Proud Boy guys messaging me on Facebook.
Yeah. I had the same thing happen when that brewery here in town got invaded by people online because they had like the drag queen story time. Dude, I got some pretty fucked up messages from people, but whatever. Come get me. I'll meet you there for a beer first. How's that sound?
I'll just include one more little anecdote about Brandon Miller. He, at least at some point, I don't know if he still does, but he was driving for Uber, and I've heard multiple stories from Iowa City residents that he showed up to pick them up and was listening to Alex Jones at a very loud volume while delivering his Uber rides.
Wonder what his rating was.
Yeah, I think most people... they were kind of like spreading the word about who this guy was so that people would reject his pickups. Loeffler, that's the tractor guy. Yeah. They end with a quote from him. He called the Capitol break-in and the 1 fatality and 3 medical emergencies that occurred amid the chaos. So this article is actually a little bit out of date at this point because it's 5 deaths now. Mm-hmm. Loeffler called this sombering and remorseful. Sombering. I don't think that's sombering. Sobering,
yeah. I believe that would be the more appropriate.
I mean, who knows what he actually
meant. Word to use.
Yeah. I don't think somber can be used as a verb like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Whatever. I'm nitpicking.
So, have you guys like read about, I'm sure you have, like some of the ways that people died at that event. Like some of the protesters died.
Yeah, the guy tased himself in the balls.
Yeah, there's a guy that tased himself in the balls. There was a woman holding one of those, like, what do you call them? The Gadsden flag, the Don't Tread on Me flag.
Yeah, Gadsden.
That she was literally trampled to death.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
Wasn't there a guy like fell off a balcony or something?
Yeah, I don't know if that guy died, but yeah, there's a guy who fell off a balcony. There's also that clip of that guy trying to climb over the wall.
That shit's so funny. I saw that on Twitter, and they put like old WWF audio over it of like JR screaming like, "Oh my God!"
yeah, I saw that. That was good shit.
Fuck yeah.
There's also the Capitol police officer who died, who was like bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, that's fucking brutal.
Yeah, that's like
really,
yeah.
Again, way worse than anyone did to the cops.
Yeah,
this summer
well, yeah.
in any
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
the
It's
thing
the
that I've
irony.
been seeing that people on the right have been saying that he had a stroke. He didn't die. From
yeah,
that,
of course
is
they're
what they've been
saying
saying.
that's just like how, all of the black men that have been choked to death by the cops, they had an underlying health condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't die from being shot. He died because too much blood left his body.
Now we can take that logic and turn it on the police themselves.
Yes. Surely that'll get some traction.
I think that a lot of people went up there with no mob mentality, he said. I think they were trying to send a message that we are the people. You need to listen to us.
I hate these people so much.
Yeah.
They're just the fucking worst.
That's the owner of America's Patriotic Tractor getting the last word in on this article.
Yeah, well, if I ever need to buy a Patriotic tractor, I know who not to patronize now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a fucking Soviet tractor.
Yeah, exactly.
An old, rusted Soviet tractor.
That's right. Still gets the job done. Just from looking at this guy's his page, though, he doesn't deal in like large like commercial tractors. It looks like he kind of deals in like smaller like collectible ones for like hobby farms. It almost looks like.
Oh, is it John Deere, or does he have any of those
all the stuff that he has
competitors that may or may not be based in America?
A lot of the pictures I'm seeing is of him. It's like tractors he's customized with by painting the flag on them, or like making them all red, white, and blue, or like putting eagles on them and quotes.
Does he call himself a veteran? Because that would increase his
I stopped looking at his page, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Whether it's true or not, that would increase his business for sure.
Yes, it would, especially in this state.
Supporting a veteran-owned small business. So there's a few other news stories I pulled up just to we got to catch up because this week was so eventful.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, I've got it's either Michael or Michelle. I'm so bad at reading names. Somebody wrote in the Des Moines Register, Eastern Iowa GOP county chair resigns after calling on patriots to stay locked and loaded in Facebook post. I'm going to read his post. This is on the Henry County Republican Party Facebook page. And it looks like he posted this on the 7th, so I think this was the day after the Capitol invasion. Well, our country is officially screwed. All you Democrats that voted for Biden, thinking that it was going to be all candy and roses, now have to wake up.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, so
right.
far. Now have the wake-up call that you have set this republic firmly on the path to socialism. Damn, did we?
Fuck yeah. We won after all.
Yeah.
I cannot believe these people are still saying that. Like, what do they it's become a buzzword. It means anything. It doesn't have to, you don't have to know what that means. You don't have to know a fucking thing about it. It's just
it's
like
the government doing anything.
It's the catch-all
at this point.
is what it is.
Even like
it's McCarthyism.
It's annoying to me when even like lefties like use socialism as just like a catch-all for like the government doing something.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I would have never guessed in my entire life that the country that patriots have fought and lost their lives for would so quickly turn this way. Ronald Reagan said that socialism is only one generation away at any time.
Yeah, hopefully.
We keep kicking the can down the road. When are we going to get the fucking socialism generation? That has been proven today. I think he's mad because they actually certified the election.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Which is just by and large a formality.
Yeah.
It doesn't really
Yeah.
All those people that were bribed to vote in return for free shit are to blame for this.
That's fucking rich, dude.
I am like I totally could have been bribed to vote in return for free shit.
Yeah, me too.
They didn't do it. They didn't bribe me for free shit.
Well, we're not going to huss off one. We haven't talked about that. And I guess we're totally going to get those $2,000 checks now.
Yeah, they're coming.
I'm going to rank that as the third largest news story of the week.
Yeah. I mean,
it's going to be.
It could. I think it's a coin flip, honestly, at this point. But
yeah,
what are you guys going to do with your $2,000 checks?
Put it in the bank.
Well, it's going to go.
Boring.
It's going to go into Ashley's account. So
that's boring too.
She's gonna.
That's right.
Hold on to it. She will never let me have it because.
You know what I'm going to buy with mine? I'm gonna buy a Herman Miller chair.
Ooh, I want to.
Yeah, I need real nice, like $1,300 like operator chairs. You know,
I'm always looking for like a. I mean, I have a nice like steel case shitty chair that got stolen from some office at some point. Not by me.
Nice.
But you know, like it's one of those like
wink,
super
wink.
standard looking office chairs. It is pretty comfortable, but like I wish it had like upper neck support. You know.
Yeah, I have one of those embarrassing like gamer. Like Twitch streamer chairs that I bought from a coworker.
They break.
It's nice.
I'm fat. They just.
It's like a bucket seat. It's like a racing seat. It's awesome. My cats have destroyed it, but.
In all seriousness, we're just going to use the money to pay bills, which is what
probably.
Pretty much everyone's going to do. So, that's of course assuming that we do get the money.
Mm-hmm. Didn't the newly elected representation from Georgia already say? No way in hell we're voting for this.
No. Joe Manchin
who was it?
said
Joe
that.
Manchin, that's right.
Yeah, but then I guess, I don't know, people are speculating that Lisa Murkowski, because she said that, I don't know if I can stand to be a part of the Republican Party anymore. They're saying she might switch to independent and then join the Democratic Caucus, which I don't know about that either, but it would be nice.
She's out of Arizona, isn't she?
Alaska.
She's Alaska.
Alaska, that's right, yeah. I was close. It starts with an A.
Yeah, it would be very funny for her to have remained a Republican for almost the entirety of Trump's term, and
yeah,
like everything else, it's all happening at the last minute.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we've enabled this like anti-democratic fascism shit for like the last 4 years, like 100%, like 93% of our voters approve of Donald Trump and voted for him. Like, but now that like the chickens have come home to roost, then now it's. Turn the tail
I love
time.
to reap. However, sowing.
Yeah, also,
so
there's no way that a Republican elected in Arizona would be able to leave the Republican Party without jeopardizing, like, their entire political future. Yeah, it is funny, too, like, how much of this shit is also just determined by, like, individual, like Hawley and Cruz are just totally in it for their own personal gain and have no actual fucking concern with any of the actual implications of any of this shit.
Yeah, Hawley just wants book deals.
He wants to be president.
Maybe.
He wants to take over the Trump mantle.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I can't wait for President Cuomo to usher us into a new era of...
we'll run from this strong man right into the arms of another.
Yeah, that's right.
God damn. The respect that people have for Cuomo is fucking...
I don't get it.
Sickening.
Yeah, New Yorkers are brain dead. They really are.
No, it's not just New Yorkers.
They are, though. I'm not. I'm right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the amount of, like, just... you're right. But liberals are just, like... I don't know. I've been cut off from some of them because they blocked me on Facebook, the cowards. But they were going ham for him back in like fucking April when New York City was the COVID epicenter. He wrote that fucking book. He made that mural.
Leadership in the era of
that mural
COVID
is like
something?
One of the funniest things, like the tribute to like destroying the curve or like flattening the curve or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most ugly pieces of art that you could have possibly commissioned.
Okay, yeah, all the people who were bribed to vote for free shit are to blame. And as I said before, politicians, regardless of party affiliation, not standing up for a free and lawful election are just as much to blame. So from this time forward, patriots, stay locked and loaded. Keep your family close. Get ready for the coming revolution, as the storming of the Capitol today will be likened to the shot heard round the world that launched the first Revolutionary War. God damn.
What an idiot.
There's definitely going to be more violence. Like,
fuck yeah.
I don't think the Civil War, I don't think even with the sympathizers and the police and the federal government, like, I don't think that there's going to be any sort of sustained violence against the government because I think it'll get put down. But like,
oh my god, of course it will. Like
but is that going to make these people more emboldened, or is it going to make them like back off? Because like,
I don't know, they'll all be fucking dead.
All of their rhetoric
really
is predicated on them being like the victims of this shit, and like any sort of action taken against them is going to be seen as persecution.
That's very true.
So it's hard to say where it goes. Concerning, very concerning.
Nowhere good, that's for sure. But we're safe and sound here in Iowa. We're in a Trump stronghold, so we have nothing to worry about.
We can put a wall around all of the cities, keep the hordes out.
Yeah, or just keep everybody in Waterloo in.
Jesus. Jesus Christ, man.
I'm kidding. I just don't like the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
The Black Hawks, not the black people.
Yes. Yeah, and there are definitely no black people on the team because it's a hockey team.
Yeah, that's true.
It is USHL hockey. It's literally just like kids from like rich like East Coast families, like mostly like the Massachusetts and like Connecticut area, whose parents could afford to like put them through like all these like high tier coaching programs when they were kids, and like can afford to like have them do something like this. And then it's just like these big like redneck Canadian kids from like a tiny town in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's not many black people, especially at that level of hockey.
We love Waterloo.
It's okay.
I know some people from Waterloo, and they're very nice.
There's some fine establishments in Waterloo that I patronize that I would patronize again. And I know some, like Evan said, I know plenty of fine people from Waterloo as well. So this is my formal apology to the people of Waterloo for the comments I made today on our show.
It's not often that the offending statements and the apology happen in the same podcast.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's
good turnaround time.
Yes, that's how willing I am to grow as a person. And I really think that a lot of you listening can maybe learn from me just from this episode today. So you're welcome.
So yeah, this guy, he thinks that the Capitol events will be like the launch of the Revolutionary War, only this time it will be red versus blue. So he's a fan of the Machinima series, Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
It's so cool how like they just sort of let them do that for so long, and I think that it helped like get Halo extremely popular. Can you imagine if like Nintendo had someone trying to do something like that with as insane as they are with their intellectual property?
Yeah.
Halo was already popular, but yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
It's true, but they were like basically in a partnership.
Yeah, they had no problem with it, which is like pretty forward-thinking for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even for today, I mean, shit, the copyright stuff has gotten
it's kind of
out
regressing, actually.
Yeah, it's regressing.
And then he signed his own name. So again, this was on the Facebook page for the Henry County Republican Party, and then Trent Hobbs, who is the chair, he signed his own name and tagged his own personal profile at the end of the post, just to make sure there was no confusion that I'm the guy who wrote this extremely...
no mask. I want him to know it was me.
Extremely inspiring post for all the Patriots out there. I need to get full credit for this. And I guess that they have forced him to resign because of that. Or, well, according to him, I resigned of my own resolve from chairman of the party.
Henry County is...
That's what they all
Mount
say.
Pleasant is, right?
Yeah, and this story was first reported by the Hawkeye, which I believe is the Mount Pleasant newspaper. He had been the chairman for 3.5 years. His resignation was effective as of 12:01 a.m. on Thursday. Okay, so yeah, he posted that on the day of the events, and then 8 hours later, he had resigned. I thought it would be best to distance myself from the party. That way the party can heal. He's talking lib shit now.
Yeah,
real loser shit.
That's strange, man. Like, he wants the party to heal in what way? Being the guy who thinks that what happened on Wednesday should be the precursor to more violence. Like, what's the healing that he imagines should happen now?
They just want the rest of the Republican Party to go along with them.
Yeah. Also, I don't think he wants to completely,
I mean, I do...
alienate himself from the party.
I think even probably with all this shit, I could easily see the Republican Party being able to somehow pull it together with the more moderate wing and the super extreme wing, the quote unquote moderate wing, obviously, but like,
right. No, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible that this will drive a permanent wedge, and like
that's what I'm hoping, but like I don't know if that's realistic to even expect.
Well,
they've weathered a lot.
Yeah,
before.
absolutely.
And they're very good at sticking together and voting together, and like creating like a common interest in the party. That
they're going to try to
together.
whitewash this shit, and the Democrats are going to be fucking complicit in helping them. Like they've signaled that for the entire campaign. So, not great. Joe Biden's going to be the new Neville Chamberlain.
Oh man, so the Hawkeye actually like asked Hobbs Trent Hobbs? Yeah. They asked him some like clarifying questions about his post. This is actually pretty funny. In speaking with the Hawkeye, Hobbs said he did not intend for the post to convey a call to violence.
Really?
Yeah. Locked and loaded is just a phrase. It doesn't imply any violence, Hobbs said.
I wish they would make these people elaborate, like a full elaboration on what the fuck you're saying. Don't just fucking cop out, give you one line. Come on.
Yeah, this is actually, I don't know, this is pretty good for like a small local paper to actually be pressing at all on
it is, questions. But this is the type of language I was talking about earlier with people like Steven Crowder. Like, you use the type of fucking language to people that are already pissed off and already willing to, like, do something about it, and then you can't be fucking surprised when, like, they take your word as fact, and, like, you meant what you meant. Because you did mean what you meant, you fucking asshole. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Come on.
Yeah. Don't play dumb.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit about, like, portraying themselves as the victim when they're actually the aggressor. And then, like, that narrative just immediately flips back and forth.
Yep. So, regarding the phrase locked and loaded, he said, it's a readiness term that's used in the military.
Yes, in the military, which does what?
Exactly, yeah, that would be my follow-up question. What do you think they do after they've locked and loaded?
They protect our freedoms, that's it. Don't ask how.
Asked what he believes people need to be ready for, Hobbs said he doesn't know.
Oh, fuck off, dude.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, you said it just like that.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, if there is more violence, and it seems likely, then, like, there's gonna be, I don't know how many people within, like, local governments like this are gonna fucking own it, it doesn't seem likely. I don't know, though. We've been wrong before about how... Well, I know, but, like, they're gonna have...
people think it rocks. You don't have to own your fucking... what you say, because people think it's good.
They can have it both ways. That's the problem. Yeah. So...
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's getting... Like I said, the contradictions.
Yeah.
It's just a turnstile of contradictions. It doesn't matter. They can just keep fucking walking through it over and over again. And nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people get a little bit too jaded, but like, about like nothing will ever change, but like, it happens fast and slow at the same time. It's just some sort of, it's all perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
As much as we've been, hammering that what happened on Wednesday was just like the result of everything that they've been building up to for years now. It was further than I expected.
Oh, absolutely. I knew there's going to be some shit going down, but like storming the Capitol building, nah, dude. Like,
yeah, I just didn't think they'd get inside.
I thought there'd be a bunch of senators yelling at each other. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were parts of it that did surprise me, which is that, they actually pushed up against the cops and some of them went inside the building. And then there are parts of it that did not surprise me, which is that once they were inside the building, they just did nothing and farted around.
Yeah, like them actually getting inside of the chamber was insane. And like that picture of like the fucking federal security agents with their guns trained at the door, like that's an incredible photo. Like the guy's face just like peeking through like the hole in like the glass.
Yeah.
Unreal picture. Like was incredible. Like my mother could not believe that when I sent that to her.
Let me give you some more of Trent Hobbs quotes here. Hobbs further stated he is not a violent person and doesn't condone violence. His words echoed what was said to the Hawkeye on Thursday during an interview in which he said the protest outside the Capitol went from a peaceful protest to something that shouldn't have happened.
So at what point did that flip?
Right, because it seemed like you were kind of gleefully celebrating it. mere hours ago, and now you're saying it shouldn't have happened. It seems like they tried to get a quote from, or a statement from the governor's office about this guy, and Reynolds' office did not immediately respond to a request regarding the Facebook post.
Have they ever immediately responded to a request?
Yeah. I wish I could do that. Like, if I ever had to, like, answer a tough question, just be like, I'm declining comment. Like, you can just,
You see, Beth Malicki made a tweet saying that, like, she's been asked 4 times to change her reporting by both Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
And then she'd only been denied access once because of it.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone's just like, yeah, it's obviously Reynolds. Like...
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, wasn't it Beth Malicki who was going to interview Trump?
Yeah,
after
she
the
was.
Debate show?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they just canceled it at the last second.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he just like not get out of the plane?
He didn't get out of. He didn't leave the airport. He gave a rally speech at the airport.
Oh yeah, which is smart. Like that's the lazy way to do it, and that's probably how I would do it too. Just like do it from just like the steps of the plane.
It's to avoid like protesters, I'm sure, or like just the appearance.
Exactly.
It's all
I mean, if
genius
staging.
I had a lot of free time around then, so I definitely would have made an appearance. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's a statement from. Well, they're calling her U.S. Representative Marionette Miller Meeks, so it's pretty much a foregone conclusion, it seems to everyone.
Yeah, she's already seated. I mean, she's not already seated, but she's provisionally going to be seated.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it seems like no one's really entertaining the possibility of Congresswoman Rita Hart anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's the 22 ballots or whatever.
Which is our fault, by the way.
I don't understand that whole thing. Like, it's only her campaign is saying it. I don't know what evidence they've released and why they didn't release it during, or like why this didn't come up during the second or the first recount. I don't know. I don't have much hope that will be overturned.
Yeah. Anyway, spokesperson for Marionette Miller Meeks said, Trent Hobbs' personal opinions posted on the Henry County Republican Party Facebook page do not reflect Congresswoman Miller Meeks' sentiments about America's future. She does not believe such opinions are constructive to the efforts to advance the best interests of our country, and she does not condone them. Boring.
Who was it? Was it Finknauer that like posted a picture of her with like her feet kicked up, like holding a glass of wine that was like in a Ruth Bader Ginsburg themed cup or something?
Yeah,
that's cool.
In what context?
I think it was. Was it the day of the Capitol being stormed? It was right around then.
It was prior to it, I think. I don't think it was like in response
I thought it was like that day.
U.S. Senator Joni Ernst's office issued a statement Thursday saying Ernst has said it is time to tone down the rhetoric and bring our nation together. This is all just lib shit. They sound like Joe Biden. It was on
the 5th, yeah. It was the night before, actually. Sorry.
Yeah, it was interesting watching all of the, like I watched a lot of the confirmation vote for the Electoral College, and it's interesting how many Republicans, and how, I guess, some of them didn't change their tunes, obviously. But, a lot of them were singing a different song than they were, 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours before.
That was the funniest thing about it, was like they just reconvened later that night to get the vote done and then went home.
Yep.
Even after all that happened.
Republican Jeff Reichman.
Reich, huh?
Maybe he says Reichman, but I'm going to call him Reichman.
Yeah, sounds good.
He will be sworn into office on Monday for his first term as a state senator representing Iowa's 42nd Senate District. Said such rhetoric only deepens existing divides.
Oh, shut up.
I think, honestly, the rhetoric is kind of a result of the divides and not vice versa.
Yes.
Though they can probably contribute to each other in kind of a cycle, but the divides are real. They exist.
People like to give themselves too much credit in their field for having, a substantial impact on what people think.
I just saw that the guy who stole the Nancy Pelosi's lectern, his name is Adam Johnson. So the guy from Citations Needed.
I did a double take when I saw that.
The guy from Citations Needed apparently had a change of heart.
He tweeted this morning that it wasn't him.
Oh, did he?
If you saw that? Yeah.
No, I didn't see that, but yeah, great podcast, much better than ours.
They're the same age, also.
Are they?
Yeah. So this guy who's going to be a state senator,
I think it furthers the divisiveness that we have right now, Reichman said. I think we need to all step back and take a deep breath after these elections. I think it was rhetoric, and I don't think that his comment was inspiring anybody to change their readiness or preparedness. That might be correct, because the people who that would influence were already ready and prepared.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they're probably listening to, like, bigger fish than this particular fellow.
Yeah.
And the bigger fish are probably saying even more extreme, ridiculous shit. So, like Linwood or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I know the man, Reichman said. He's a good person. But those are definitely not the kind of things that should be posted on Facebook. Yeah, those things shouldn't be said on Facebook. They should be said only in private or in,
or on Parlor.
Closed doors meetings of the county Republican Party. The rest of this article is not particularly important. Here's another headline, though, that I think is interesting. Iowa Democratic Party closes headquarters following death threat. Seems the rhetoric is getting even more divisive.
Just one?
But it says death threat, singular, yes.
Well, I think, I don't know, it seems like
from Antifa.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. But, like, it's kind of...
That could have come from anybody, really.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Republican, like, Congress people are, like, getting it from, like, the people calling them fascists, who are right. Mm-hmm. And then the second side of the fascists being mad that they're not fascist enough.
Yeah.
Which is interesting dynamic. But, yeah, the Democrats don't have to deal with quite as much right now, I don't think. But... still, plenty on their plate.
Which is good for them because they have less to try to answer for.
Yeah.
And make themselves look even studer by trying to answer for
Up
it.
until Joe Biden takes office.
Oh, yeah.
Then,
it's going to be great.
Then we'll see about that.
Then we're going to hold their feet to the fire and make sure.
Yeah. That's when the real change is going to start.
We can push Joe Biden left.
Yeah.
There is one other, like, only sort of related story that I do want to mention briefly before we end today. I think we talked about this during the summer. The guy who drove his car into the protest in Iowa City by the Come and Go.
Yeah. Friend of the show.
I was there with him that night, technically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me just read the headline. White man who drove into a group of Iowa City protesters in August avoids prison time and fines.
Can I just say that guy looks ridiculous?
Absolutely.
Like he looks like he looks like a claymation character from a Primus video from like the late 90s.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty apt.
Well, like those like weird cowboy guys from like what's that song?
Winona's Big Brown Beaver.
Yeah.
Not even the weird cowboy guys look cool in that video. He looks more like the drawings that Les Claypool made. That's like injected into the video. That video owns, by the way. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's very cool. Actually, you know what? I should read some of the details here because I said it's only sort of related, but I think it is.
Yeah, I think you definitely should.
Very relevant, both like what we were talking about with the Facebook posts and also people being arrested for their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a white man who deliberately sped his car through a crowd of racial injustice protesters in Iowa City, striking several, will avoid prison and have the incident erased from his record if he stays out of trouble for 3 years. This is a story by Ryan Foley of the Associated Press, reprinted here in the Des Moines Register. And again, I was there. I watched this happen. It was pretty fucking scary. Like, thought I was going to throw up. A judge last month, and there is video of this, so you can find this for yourself to see what he did.
I've seen it,
and
too.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A judge last month granted a deferred judgment for Michael Ray Stepanek, 45, who told police he drove his Toyota Camry through the crowd in August because the protesters needed an attitude adjustment.
That's a good reason to try to kill somebody, I think.
Yeah. Side note from me, the Toyota Camry had license plate numbers JCK193. So if you live
Did you say JCK193?
I did say JCK193.
Hopefully nobody that listens to the show in the Iowa City area is going to be keeping an eye out for that license plate number.
Yeah.
JCK193.
Yeah, keep an eye on the cars around you. If you see JCK193, you may need to be concerned for your safety.
That's right.
The sentence means a felony charge of willful injury resulting in bodily injury against Stepanek will be dismissed and expunged as long as he does not commit a crime during a 3-year term of probation.
Right.
Yeah, let's just give him a mulligan. Sure.
Yeah, so like deferred judgments are like appropriate, I think, in like first-time nonviolent offenses, but this guy ran his fucking car into like a crowd of people.
Yeah.
It's not very I'm not big on the criminal justice shit, but it's pretty incongruous with
right, exactly.
How other people are treated.
Yeah, you would think that like a first time offense that you have an opportunity to have it stricken from your record if you be a good boy would be like a marijuana possession charge, or like maybe like running a red light.
Judge Paul Miller also suspended a $1,025 civil fine.
That's it?
I mean, that was suspended, so he doesn't even have to pay that.
Yeah, that's all?
Yeah. Doesn't even have to pay that. Offenders who commit forcible felonies are not eligible for deferred judgments, but the charge to which Stepanek pleaded is not considered one under Iowa law.
Dude. That's what I was saying. Like, that's what I thought. I was like, I got a deferred judgment in my aforementioned marijuana possession case. And, I mean, that makes sense, but, like, fucking violent felony? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
However, could he have gotten off from this?
Oh, well, I have some details here. Stepanek's attorney, John Bruzek, said his client was influenced by social media and political rhetoric, characterizing the protesters as dangerous criminals. Stepanek initially believed he was legally justified.
Jesus, dude.
But has come to see he was wrong and apologized, Bruzek said.
That is such an incredibly dangerous precedent to set, that like, oh, sorry, I just did it because social media made me think it was okay. Or like, I just listened to one too many like pundit that told me this thing. So actually what I did wasn't really a big deal because I'm just Mummy's little boy, and I don't know any better.
I watched the news too much, and
yeah. Sorry, I listened to Rustling while in my car.
I watched the evening news. I saw a Trump speech, a Trump rally before.
Yeah, I cannot believe that's just unreal to me.
I saw a post that said I could do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also he's apologized. Like, I don't know who he's apologized to. Like, I know some of the people that were like struck, and I don't believe they've received an apology. And then,
unbelievable.
Credit to this article. They immediately follow up all of the details of this guy getting off for intentionally hitting a bunch of people with his car by saying the Johnson County Attorney's Office, which agreed to Stepanek's plea deal, has also... Prosecutors continue to pursue 15 counts, including 9 felonies, against a protest leader charged with shining a laser beam light in police officers' eyes in August.
Fucking Christ almighty.
Cool. Yeah, that's really good, actually. That doesn't make me upset or extremely angry at all. I'm actually quite calm right now.
And that's about Matt Bruce, who I know we discussed with Jalen a little bit. If not,
very calm.
If not other times on the show. But yeah, he's absolutely been targeted multiple times by Iowa law enforcement. And they're really throwing the book at him as hard as they possibly can. Even though he has not, hurt a single person in any of the demonstrations
just
that
like
he's been involved with.
Those Ferguson protest leaders that mysteriously died after they all started to wind down.
Yeah, so none of the people involved in the protest who were hit by the car are, of course, fans of the carceral system, and in fact were protesting against it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty obvious here that there's a big disparity, which, again, is part of what we were protesting. Oh shit, I'm in this picture in this article.
Are you really?
Yeah, I just noticed.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so a big week, huh?
Yeah, wow.
I think all these stories taken together give you a pretty big insight into how America works and how Iowa, the state of Iowa, fits into the big picture of American democracy.
Like a glove. It fits like a glove.
Yeah, all of this stuff is not that surprising if you think about it.
Yep. You guys have any predictions for the future? Because
no, dude, absolutely not.
I'm abstaining from that field for the time being.
There's a lot
for,
of
the immediate future, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you said earlier you think that around inauguration is going to be even worse. What do you think is going to happen?
I think that it's going to be more violent I think that it's not just going to be MAGA tourists, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
I think that there are going to be people that are there ready to either hurt someone, maybe even kill someone. They're ready to be hurt themselves if need be, or possibly die themselves if need be, because this has gone beyond just their big boy Donald Trump not being president anymore. Like, it's turned into like they're losing their country, like they're going to lose their freedoms, and the way of life that they love so much is going away. So that's going to get people way more upset than President, you're fired not being in office anymore. I also believe that the Green Bay Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. I think that the NFC is it's a weak conference. I think that the Packers are the cream of the crop. There's not much else there. AFC is very competitive, so it's hard to say who's going to represent the AFC. I'd like to see the Bills in the Super Bowl, but that's my other prediction.
I agree.
The Packers will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think
take it to the bank.
I think there's going to be. I think the next, like the inauguration thing. Like, there's going to be a lot more. They're going to give the police more reasons to crack down on them, basically, and we'll see.
Yeah. And
we'll see what that
happens.
tension results in, but I'm not going to make any strong predictions, because who the fuck knows? I think it's very delicate, and it can go a lot of different ways.
Yeah. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, well, since Evan mentioned them giving more reason to be cracked down upon by DC police, I think it's going to be interesting to compare what happens to like right-wing, I'll just say protesters as a general term, I guess. Protesters of Biden's inauguration. It's going to be interesting to compare that directly to what happened to leftist activists at Trump's inauguration.
That's a good question, actually. Will Biden have a bigger inauguration than Trump? Remember back remember back 4 years ago, that was the first big story of Trump's administration, was that there weren't as many people there.
Yes. Got him.
There might be even with the pandemic. There might be more people there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be very, very ugly. I'm considering taking time off of work to watch it all day. But we'll see.
Yeah, that will be interesting because there is a pandemic, but also if you remember, like the weekend after the election, there were a lot of people out partying in the streets. Mm-hmm. So the kind of people who would celebrate a Biden victory enthusiastically, it seems like they're willing to go out there and party. So we'll see.
They'll just have brunch that day is what they'll do.
Culture clash.
Mm-hmm. And all of it's rotten.
Yeah, none of it's good.
This is red versus blue, it's good versus evil.
Fascists versus the people who enable them.
Yeah, whoever wins, we win, right?
Sure, yeah. Just send me, as long as I get $2,000, then it's
all
a
is
win,
forgiven.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a pretty fun conversation. I think we've discussed the news thoroughly, and we can ignore the news next time. Certainly there will be no more news happening before our next recording.
What's the email address to send angry comments? We haven't really gotten any angry comments.
No, it's Evan Jones at
I think it's
boop.com. No, it's not that. No, it's not that either. I don't have an email address.
Yeah, maybe this is maybe a good opportunity to encourage people to leave reviews on iTunes or something. I don't know. I don't take a super active role in like promoting the podcast or anything, but if you enjoy it and you would like to engage with it in ways like that, leave reviews on different podcast services, retweet our posts, do that kind of stuff. That stuff's free, so that's cool. And then you could also get on our Patreon, which is almost free, $1. That's just slightly more than free. We've got a good 30 to 40 hours of content on there, I think. It's quite a bit, so it's a good bang for your buck.
Hell yeah. Are we going to come up with some more incentives, or nah?
Maybe.
Well, okay. Maybe I can share some of my sports gambling secrets, how to get rich quick.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I can talk about research chemicals, various psychedelics.
Yeah. Well, I think too that Evan and I have kind of kicked around the idea before of doing an episode, or maybe doing like an offshoot altogether that just sort of has to do with sports and politics within them. So I think there's plenty to be said within because sports are sort of like can be like a microcosm of society.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes. So I think there's plenty to talk about there. If there's enough interest for something like that, I'm sure him and I could kick something together.
Yeah, I've encouraged you to do that many times, and I will do it again.
Lazy.
Very lazy. Like we said earlier, we are the working class. You're the bourgeoisie who produces our podcasts for us.
Yeah, in your ivory tower editing audio from the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I can do the easy part, which is producing it.
Yeah.
You guys can do the hard part,
9 hours
just talking.
staring at this program.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the terms right there, but
Okay, well that's enough. Look forward in the future to our Dave Loebsack episode, and we'll get Natalie on the record discussing the Glenwood Resource Center very soon, because she and I both read a very long Justice Department report about that place, and we can give you some real
I think people would really like
shit.
a Justin and Natalie episode because you two are the most popular members of the crew.
Yeah, we could.
Then
just
you
do it,
could
the two of
just
us.
slowly push Chuck and I out.
Yeah, which is fine.
Whatever you want to do.
It's wildcard weekend anyways, so...
And also, Tony and I are gearing up to record another episode about Sonic the Hedgehog comic books.
Yes. Also on Patreon.
It's very on brand for...
If your interests align exactly with mine, this is the podcast for you. Okay, I think that's enough plugging our own shit. So, thanks for listening, and have a good one. Hopefully less news happens, so we can have more fun later.
Cheers to that.
Bye-bye. Go bet on the Packers right now.
Yeah.
Just a taste of the gambling advice.
It's just 5 minutes of me telling you which teams I think are going to win.
Yeah.